Now, Jessie's Girl, we have to ask that question. I mean, did you have any idea it was going to strike a chord the way it did?
I didn't even think it was a good single.
Yeah.
I thought there were better songs on the album. And I was kind of disappointed when Keith Olsen, who produced Jessie's Girl and also brought in a song I didn't write, which was a Sammy Hagar song, I've Done Everything for You. And he picked Jessie's Girl, and I was thinking there are much better songs I've written for this record than that. Why is he picking that one? So anyway, we did it, and it wasn't the first one released either. They released I've Done Everything for You, which I was disappointed in because that was the one I didn't write. But I think they thought, you know, Sammy's name on it, because Sammy he wasn't that well known, but he was more well known than I was at the time. So, and he was known as being a rocker and a guitar player. And it didn't do anything. The radio didn't pick it up. So the radio started playing Jessie's Girl, and they started getting huge phones and people calling in and requesting it, and so they released it, and it made it slow climb to #1. But it's one of those magic moments. You don't know when you come from nowhere. When nobody knows anything about you and you can't go out and say, hey, I'm this person who had this. When something comes from nowhere like that, it's magic to me, and that was a magic song. And the fact that it's gone on, you know, to have a life of its own beyond...
#1 requested karaoke song.
Yeah.
We're here.
That's a backhanded compliment. But yeah.
I think it's a compliment.
No, it is. I mean, I'm very proud. I'm proud of all of it, really. And, you know, Boogie Nights was kind of the first movie that really used it appropriately and got attention. You know, it's been in TV shows, Friends, and it was in 2 movies this year. It was and it was in Glee, and that even brought my version back onto the charts again, which is pretty weird. Yeah, and it's brought in that one song has brought in a whole new audience.
Absolutely.
You know, I'll see 15-year-old kids singing the verse as well, knowing the verse as well as just going the Jessie's Girl chorus. You know. So I'm very proud of it. It does overshadow a lot of my other songs. Yeah. But I mean, every writer hopes for. A friend of mine used to call it a gorilla. You know, hopes for that one song that goes somewhere else other than just being a hit, and that is certainly Jessie's Girl. So
you've written and talked a lot about your deep connection to your fans and your commitment to them. What's sort of one of the most memorable fan interactions you've ever had?
Well, there's probably the Sahara, but which I probably don't want to go into because it's in the book. It's a deep story, but I was a young girl that her mom was 12 years old when she became a fan. So when she had a little girl, she started bringing her to the shows at 5 years old, 6 years old, and I got to know her. She was one of those spirits. So I love kids, and they're instant. You know, there are actually fans who will. You know, I sometimes think they're renting them, you know, to bring them because they know I'll react, you know. Right. But I love kids, and she brought her daughter, and I just fell in love with this girl. She was just, you couldn't not love her. She was one of those bright sparks. Walk in a room, she instantly got all the adults eating out of her hand. Even my band, who, you know, my drummers, is a real grump at times, you know, and he was like couldn't do enough for her, and so I fell in love with her, and she got sick, and the whole story, and so I become very close with them, you know, since Sahara passed, and we wrote 3 songs on my last album were about her. I've also met fans they don't specifically say, but they said, you helped me through a really, really difficult time in my teenage years, and I understand that. I remember thinking, you know, at first thinking, well, I don't get that. They're just songs, you know. They're not even talking about what they're going through. But I remember as a kid, walking around singing songs in my head because they made me feel good, because I was lonely. Yeah. They were my friends. The songs were my friends.
And just one of the final questions is, you've been married for over 25 years, you have 2 boys, you do all this writing, performing, acting. How do you balance it all? Do you get any you time?
Yeah, I do. Actually, we're great. We have a great... I've worked out a way to tour where I go out for 3 days. We fly everywhere. I go out for 3 days. go home for a week, go out for 3 days, go home for 4, go out for 5 days. So we're constantly back and forward. And although there's a lot of flying and can get tiring, I stay connected to my family. And I couldn't go out for 6 months at a time again and, you know, become this road pirate and then come back and have to reacquaint myself with my life again. You know, I've learned the way to do it. And also at home, I can write, I have my own studio at home, I can record and then walk into the kitchen and see my wife, you know, making dinner, and sometimes it's helped our relationship. Sometimes when, you know, we get on top of each other, she say, "Don't you have to go on the road sometime soon?" And I'll go, and that's great. And we write love letters to each other when we're away. This whole tour, I've been writing, sending photos and sunsets, and you know, I love you, miss you, can't wait to be home, and so it's good for our relationship.
And for our readers out there, what are your favorite types of books to read, and what are some of your favorites?
I love science fiction. I'm a horror. I was the boy who loved monsters. So, but I read great writers. I read Heinlein and Arthur C. Clarke and Robert Bloch and all the amazing writers. It wasn't just comic book stuff. It was really, that's where I learned to write. It was from these guys. Now I read pretty much everything. I'm reading The Passage at the moment.
Oh wow!
Like that. The thing with sci-fi books, I just read the Ender, well not just, but I read the Ender series, Orson Scott Clark, where you read the first book and then you just can't stop, so I read the next 9 books, and I'm looking around here and there's so much that I want to read. I go into a record store and I'll go, oh well, there's no record stores anymore, but if you go to where they have records, you go, no, I guess I'll take this one. But here it's like, I want them all.
Yeah.
I love books, I love reading.
So what's next for you? More touring, more writing?
Yeah, we're going out on tour. We have a cruise, Rick Springfield and Friends cruise that's coming up.
I read about that.
The 3rd year of that. And I'm writing scripts, and I want to write more. My publishers are pushing for a novel because they like my writing style so much. And writing a new record and recording that soon. There's a documentary coming out about the fans and my relationship with my fans in 2011 called Fair of the Heart, and I hope to be better at what I'm doing so that Mr. D will leave me alone.
Great. Well, Rick, thank you so much for talking with us. Again,
Get a dog. I need to get a dog because this little one just died.
The book is Late, Late at Night, and thanks again.
Sure.